Okay, hello, Trev here. Just give it a second for a couple of people to join if they're going to join. But I thought I would just pop on to update about a news story on Channel 4 News. So I just want to see if the streaming is working. Okay. Let's just check. Yeah, so we're working. Good. Yesterday was Severe ME Awareness Day. So if you're not aware of ME, myalgic encephalomyelitis, it's an illness which sort of attacks the immune system, makes people very weak. There's chronic fatigue, and some people sort of have known it by other names. So chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic fatigue syndrome, CFS. Americans often use that term to sort of umbrella ME, and more recently, long COVID has kind of come into play, and it has very interesting similarities to ME. And Channel 4 gave a broadcast yesterday evening. So I'll put a link in the description about a lady, Maeve, who died. It was 27 when she died, suffered from severe ME for 10 years before she died in October 2021. She died of malnutrition because of severe ME, a coroner has ruled. And the interview was very interesting, partly because it's in mainstream, but also the fact that severe ME was put as not the cause of death, or a factor, a significant factor for death. The fact that she couldn't sort of eat, had to have enough energy to eat, and also if you sort of watch it, how it was sort of misunderstood by a lot of the medical profession. So the aim of this sort of video, and I will hopefully do some more videos on ME in coming weeks and stuff, is to raise awareness. And if you know any medical professionals who don't know about ME, there's a growing sort of movement to sort of educate them. But the main thing they were saying about finance, so the understanding, so they're trying to raise something in the region of 100 million a year for biomedical research. So in the past, research has kind of been misleading, gone in the wrong places. So there's not really been a significant body of research about ME, and and that's really sad. So I think I don't know the statistics, but new doctors will get maybe, I don't know, a few hours training on illnesses like ME, but a comparable illness like MS will get, days and days of training, or a lot more. So really, it's sort of a lot of different angles to how this might be improved, in terms of you might get still a couple of doctors that aren't very cooperative, and it only takes one sometimes specialist mistreating an illness like ME to make it severely worse. I'll put another link to the PACE trial. This was a while ago. I'm not sure if there was an update on it, but I did a video of the parliamentary debate back in 2018, which is basically the PACE trial, which is a mistreatment of ME, which had been going on for years and years and years, sort of got quashed, thankfully, I think by, Carol Monaghan. Monaghan. So I can't pronounce her surname, but she's not an MP anymore, but she was an MP at the time. So we need a new kind of like movement in Parliament, if there isn't already a subgroup for ME and indeed long COVID, and those sort of illnesses to be debated in Parliament. So I will email my MP about it and bring it to their awareness. But the fact it's on a mainstream media channel is really positive to get people talking about ME and long COVID. And the people that were at the end of the Channel 4 documentary said they'd got, it was a couple her and her husband had developed long COVID, and then they say got ME through that. And one of the misdiagnoses of ME is sort of how long you have it for. I know my sister's suffered severely with ME for many, many years, most of my life, most of her life as well. And maybe it was diagnosed as glandular fever first of all. And, I think part of that sort of lack of quick diagnosis is one of the problems. And obviously long COVID is still fairly new. Like COVID itself is a fairly new illness. So people that are just developing long COVID, or just appreciating that their illness is sadly more severe than they thought, will have a lot of parallels and a lot to be gained from more research into severe ME. So the idea of researching severe ME more and getting funding for proper research, and to get it taken more seriously in the areas of medical profession where it's still not respected as much. Maeve's mum was talking about her legacy, really, wanting to not sort of die in vain, but basically she should have been treated better by the medical profession. And this was only a couple of years ago she passed away. So that's really sad. And I know that I wrote a song with Carli Barry. I think Carli Barry took her life and suffered from severe ME. She wrote a poem that I wrote music to. So she died on her 27th birthday. So I'll put a link to that as well. So there's been quite a lot of tragic stories in the ME world and community that we're aware of. And someone did mention, so if people are just suffering or beginning to suffer from the illness, that there are a lot of people that can kind of get better and can manage, is a better term actually, can manage their ME. And there's a link to a site that has sort of tips on pacing and this sort of thing, which is very useful. There is no specific treatment for ME, just to clarify. But if it's managed, and especially when you sort of first think that you've got something like ME or long COVID or something like that, if it's managed better, I think the deterioration can be drastically reduced. So that's why the PACE trial quashing was very, very important, to stop people being mistreated in the higher end of medical profession. And there's a massive lack of experts in this field. There's no real sort of there are some experts with power, I guess, in hospitals. I mean, you need specialists around for ME. I mean, why have we not got specialists on ME? And we've got enough data on ME. So I'm just opening that topic. Please do drop a comment. I'll put a couple of links in the description. And like I say, I'll try and post a bit more about ME. I have done fundraising for ME, and I've done quite a bit with ME in the past, but not so much recently. And it's good to see it coming back into the public domain in mainstream media. Like I say, yesterday was World Severe ME Awareness Day, so the timing's great for it to be on the news. And I realised that there's a lot going on in the world with all these racism, anti-racism demos, and there's quite a lot going on. So it's easy for a story like this to be buried. So I'm really, really grateful for Channel 4 for putting a story like this in their news slots. So it's quite a prime time news slot. So do drop a comment, and I will hopefully do a bit more on this.